few weeks ago, we covered 15 Idaho freedoms that would be illegal in other states. That video got lots of attention and some very positive feedback, which I do really appreciate. And it told me that people really love the freedoms that Idaho currently has and would be pretty upset if they were to start losing them. Well, I have some bad news. Idaho is very much so on their way to losing some of those freedoms if they keep doing what they're doing. Right now, Idaho is sitting in the top 10 freest states in America, according to the Cato Institute's Human Freedom Index. But I have some bad news. There are a few influential politicians within Idaho's government that are voting like a student who didn't study for the test and is cheating off their neighbor's homework. And that neighbor is Washington, Oregon, and California. Today, I'm covering the 8 freedoms that Idaho is on their way to losing, how they're going to lose them, and who the powerful politician is that's acting like a donkey in an elephant's costume. Let's go. Hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about what life is actually like here in Idaho, not the glazed over version that's going to get you to want to move here, but really everything that's going on here and what it's really like living here. It's the real version, I promise. Now, number 8 on our list of freedoms that Idaho could lose is constitutional carry. In Idaho, you can carry a firearm concealed without a permit. There's no license, no government-approved class where a guy named Gerald spends 4 hours teaching you things your grandfather taught you at age 9. There's no permission slip, no waiting period, no strongly worded pamphlet from the state suggesting you consider your life choices. You're a law-abiding adult. The Second Amendment said so. Idaho agreed. Everyone went home. Now, let's take a road trip to Oregon. Welcome to Oregon, where the coffee shops have 17 milk options, the vibes are deeply curated, and buying a firearm now comes with a mandatory 72-hour waiting period. 72 hours. You walk in, you pass your background check, the computer says you're a fine, upstanding citizen, and Oregon goes, yeah, but just sit with it though. Go home, think about it, come back in 3 days, maybe try journaling.
Huh. Maybe. They
also passed a 10-round magazine limit because apparently there's a group of people in Salem who have decided they're better qualified than you to determine how much freedom is appropriate for your situation. Like a Costco sample lady with a law degree, just one. That's enough for you, sir. Move along. Both of these absolute gems passed courtesy of a Democrat supermajority that used their majority like a golden retriever who just discovered an unattended couch. Just went absolutely to town on it. No hesitation, no remorse, and no surviving couch cushions. Now here's where I need you to actually pay attention because this is the part people don't want to say out loud. Idaho has a 61-9 Republican majority in the House. 61-9. They can do literally anything they want on any given Tuesday. And there are still Republican legislators in the state quietly letting gun preemption bills get watered down. The Idaho Freedom Foundation flagged it in their own reporting. Go read it. The R on the ballot didn't protect Oregon, and it is not a magic shield. It will not automatically protect us here either. But guns are the easy one. Everyone's watching the gunfight. Nobody's watching what's happening to your kids' education. And what Colorado just did to homeschooling parents should make every parent in Idaho put their phone down right now and pay very close attention. Unless, of course, you're watching on your phone. Don't put it down yet. Number 7, homeschool freedom. Being a homeschool kid myself, this one is very near and dear to my heart. In Idaho, you can pull your kids out of school tomorrow. No letter to the district, no notice of intent, no standardized tests so a government employee can grade your parenting. You just do it because you're the parent. It's a wild concept, I know. But in Colorado, you will need to file a letter of intent to homeschool every year. Your child will need to be tested in 3rd grade, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th. And here's the part that made my eye twitch. If your kid scores below the 13th percentile, the state of Colorado can decide you don't get to keep homeschooling. A government bureaucrat who has never met your child gets a vote on whether you keep the right to educate them.
Oh no!
Now, as long as the right people are in office, these rights in Idaho should stay secure. But by the end of this video, I'm going to introduce you to someone specific, someone with an R next to their name, someone who is supposed to be protecting all of this, but isn't. And I want you to decide how you feel about the job he's doing. But first, let's talk about your body because that's kind of important. Number 6, medical freedom. Idaho has the highest personal vaccine exemption rate in the country. Before anybody in the comments starts composing their manifesto, this is not an anti-vaccine segment. I'm not here to tell you what to put in your body, and neither is the state of Idaho. That right there is exactly the point of this. This is a who decides segment because in Idaho, the answer is you and your doctor, not your employer, not your school board, not a group of credentialed professionals in a government building who have collectively decided they are better qualified to make medical decisions for your family than you are. It's a wild concept, absolutely radical idea. During COVID, Washington state mandated vaccines for healthcare workers, state employees, and teachers. People lost their careers that they had spent decades building, not because they were incompetent, but because they were dangerous, because they said no to a government order about their own body. And the people issuing that order genuinely believed, with complete sincerity, that they knew better, that their risk assessment was more valid than yours, that your bodily autonomy was a nice idea, but the experts had reviewed the situation and made a different call. Idaho said no to all of it. Idaho held the line, and that line only holds as long as the people guarding it actually believe that you, a grown adult American citizen, are capable of making decisions about your own body without a government agency reviewing your work. Not all of them do. More on that shortly. And hey, if you're sitting there watching this thinking Idaho's freedoms sound a whole lot better than whatever your state's doing, reach out to us. Our phone number and email address is listed below. There's also the URL so you could go to our brand new website that we just launched. It's pretty cool. I suggest you do it. And you can also scan this QR code if you want to schedule a time to talk with me and my team. We help people get moved to Idaho every single day. And maybe you already live here and go, you know what? Maybe these guys can help me sell my house and get into a bigger one or a smaller one or a pink one or an orange one. We help people do that too. So reach out to us at any time. All right, let's get back to these freedoms because we don't want to lose them. Number 5, property rights. In Idaho, you still have enormous say over what you can do with your own land. You want to build a shop, you build it. You want to run a small farm operation, have a pig named Babe, you run it.
Okay.
You want to stand on your back 40 and yell into the tree line for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Honestly, I do sometimes. Point is, it's your land. You bought it, you pay taxes on it, and in Idaho, that still actually means something. Revolutionary stuff. In Colorado, they passed laws in 2024 forcing small towns that did not ask for this, they did not vote for it, and they did not want it anywhere near them to zone for high-density housing near transit stops. Because a group of people in the state capital decided they had a better vision for your community than the people actually living in it. The state just decided, we know better than you, build the apartments, you're welcome. Have a great day. And here's the part that will literally make your jaw hit the floor. If you as the citizen challenge a local land use decision in court and you lose, you now owe the government their legal fees. This is in Colorado, not Idaho, not yet. They didn't just take the power, they made it financially painful to even look at them sideways. First they make the rules, then they make it expensive to question the rules, then they send you a bill for having the audacity to question the rules. It's giving very, we're not angry, we're just disappointed, and here's your invoice vibes. And before you say, well, that's Colorado, that'll never happen here, Colorado used to say that about California. Just let that marinate. Because while you're marinating on that, I need to tell you about something Oregon did that is so breathtakingly absurd, it sounds like something I made up, but I can't. I did not make it up. I can't make something up like this. This is absolutely wild. Number 4, water rights. In Oregon, if rain falls from the sky, hits the ground, and flows naturally across your own property, the state of Oregon says that water belongs to them. Not you, them. Because they're the government. They own everything. Did somebody say Lord Farquaad?
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
You need a government permit to capture water that fell from the sky onto land that you own, the rain that fell on your property. What?
Oh my God.
Idaho uses a similar legal doctrine, prior appropriation, first in time, first in right. But here's the thing, Idaho got its own warning shot in 2024 with the water curtailment order. Thousands of agricultural users had their groundwater pumping shut down essentially overnight. Shockwaves throughout the entire farming community. That's not a hypothetical. That happened here and recently. And it gets better or worse entirely based on who we put in office. So let's recap where we are. They want your guns in quantities. They want to test your kids and review your parenting. They want to regulate your body. They want to tell you what you can build on your own land. And they want the rain that falls on your property. Number 3 is about your kids again, but this time it's not what they're learning at home. It's what's happening to them at school while you have absolutely no idea, and who decided you didn't need to know about it. And I promise you, the answer is going to make your eye twitch just a little bit. Numero 3, parental rights in education. Good news first, Idaho just passed school choice tax credits, meaning you can actually direct your own tax dollars towards your own kids' education. It's a real win, and we're taking it. But Washington State, they just passed Bill 1296. Under that law, schools no longer have to notify parents when their child receives a non-emergency medical service at school. Your kid at school getting a procedure, and nobody is legally required to pick up the phone and call you. They called it protecting student privacy, which is certainly a choice of words. Remember when we were kids and we didn't have privacy and parents deserved to know everything that was happening to their kid because that just made sense? A Democrat supermajority in Washington is what made that happen, but Idaho has legislators who talk about parental rights at every single campaign stop, every single rally, every mailer that they send out with a picture of their family. But when it comes to their voting, it's like they have amnesia. They forgot what they said they were going to support. It's kind of weird. Point being, talk is cheap, but the Freedom Index score is not. And number 2, this is where it gets really personal, because this one isn't about a blue state doing blue state things. This one is about your faith, your voice, and your right to hire people who actually believe what you believe. And in Washington and Oregon, people found out the hard way that those things are only protected until someone with a credential and a very strong opinion decides otherwise. And trust me, you are not going to believe what Oregon did to a group that was literally just trying to help at-risk kids. Get ready. In Idaho, you can still start a church, run a faith-based organization, hire people who actually share your beliefs and say what you think without a government agency showing up to correct you and hand you a pamphlet. That is becoming genuinely rare, and we should probably stop taking it for granted like it's a free refill at Olive Garden. I haven't been there in a while. I should go get some. The Yakima Union Gospel Mission in Washington, a Christian organization that has been serving homeless people for decades, doing actual measurable good in actual measurable ways, got told by the Washington Supreme Court that it could no longer require its own employees to share its own religious beliefs. A faith-based ministry being told by the state who it has to hire. The Washington government is now managing the spiritual climate of your workplace from Olympia by people who have never been to your workplace. You're welcome. Idaho hasn't gone there, but the road there is a lot shorter than you think, and it starts with who we put in office. Before we get to number 1, the most important freedom on this list, by the way, you need to see what's already been quietly handed away right here in Idaho by Republicans. Bear with me, this is the part that matters the most. Let's talk about a little politician with some big powers here in Idaho, Governor Brad Little. And I want to be genuinely fair here because I'm not in the business of torching people for sport, and I don't think that serves anybody. Brad Little is not a villain. He's a rancher from southwest Idaho. He's been in public service for a long time, and by a lot of measurable metrics, Idaho is doing pretty well under his watch. But Brad Little has developed a governing style that, and I say this with genuine respect for what he's accomplished, prioritizes keeping Brad Little in office over making the hard calls that real Idahoans actually need made. Before 2021, Idaho had a progressive income tax, 7 brackets. Lowest earners paid almost nothing. Rate went up gradually as income went up. It made sense to pretty much everybody. Republican legislators over 5 years collapsed all 7 brackets into one flat 5.3% for everybody and called it a tax cut. Yeah. For them, the average reduction was over $20,000 a year. $20,000. For the median Idaho family, $127 a year. That's $10.58 a month for my remedial math buddies out there. That's not a tax cut. That's a coupon you find in a junk mail envelope next to an ad for a mattress store that's been going out of business for 11 years. And that coupon blew over $1 billion out of annual state revenue that got patched by cutting mental health programs and wildfire response and rural services. So the guy making $400,000 a year got a $20,000 gift, and the family making $45,000 watched their county mental health clinic close. And everybody called it conservatism. Sure, absolutely. Great conservatism. Very fiscally responsible. Moving on. In all of 2025, he used his veto pen twice. That's 2 times. The legislature created a massive budget shortfall. Mental health programs got cut. Wildfire response funding got cut. Rural services got cut. And he signed it all, because right before a primary election, you don't pick a fight with your own legislature, even when your own legislature is wrong, even when your own House Majority Leader is standing there describing the bill as, and I quote, a crappy bill that we have to vote on. His words, not mine. Brad Little picked up the pen and he signed it. I do not think Brad Little is a bad person. I think he's a career politician who has gotten very good at surviving. And surviving is not the same as leading. Right now, in this specific moment in Idaho's history, we need people who will make the hard call because it's right, not because it's safe, not because the primary's in 6 weeks, and not because the donors are watching, because it's right. Here's the thing that every politician in America already knows and is counting on you to forget. They are counting your votes, and that is the only math that actually matters to them. And you outnumber them by a staggering amount. Every legislature, every governor's office, every counting commission in this country is run by a relatively small group of people who are exceptionally good at exactly one thing: figuring out what they can get away with based on whether you're paying attention or not. I'm going to give you the actual tools to vet these people before you pull the lever so we can stop being shocked. Shocked, I tell you, when the crappy bills get signed and the clinics get closed. 1, Idaho Freedom Index. Go to idahofreedom.org. They grade every single legislator on their actual votes, not their yard sign, not their mailers, not what they said at the country fair while shaking your hand and admiring your truck. Their actual votes when nobody's watching. A through F. Single bookmark, use it before every single primary. It's non-negotiable. You got to use it. 2, you got to follow the money. Go to voteidaho.gov and pull up the campaign finance reports. They're completely public. Look at who's writing the checks. If a guy's biggest donors are agricultural lobbying groups and hospital association, and he's out here calling himself a constitutional conservative, that is information and you should absolutely use it.
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife.
3, Google their name alongside Idaho Freedom Foundation and see what comes up. Their rating, their votes, what they supported, and what they quietly killed in committee when nobody was paying attention. The whole thing takes 5 minutes. You've spent longer than that in a drive-through window, I promise you. I know homework sucked in school, but your freedom kind of depends on this one, so maybe take some time and give it a shot. It's a little bit important. And now, number 1. The most important freedom on this entire list. The freedom without a bill number, the one that doesn't show up on any index or any scorecard or any government database. The freedom to live in a place that still genuinely believes that you, not the agency, not the commission, not the panel of credentialed experts with a very important clipboard, are the rightful decision makers for your own life. That's not a law. You cannot vote it in, but you can absolutely vote it out. And we have been quietly doing exactly that, one unchecked R at a time. All right, that is hopefully enough to help you guys understand how important these freedoms are, how we're going to lose these, and what we can do to actually fight back. If you are serious about wanting to move to Idaho, reach out to me and my team at the phone number and email address listed below. Scan the QR code to schedule a time to talk with me and my team. And hey, there's more videos right here. Check it out, or this side. I don't know which side I'm going to put it on. Maybe both, maybe just this one. Check them out. They're really good. I made them. I'll see you on that one.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.